Welcome back. Assuming you have watched our video about Spring Boot and Spring Data JPA. In this video, we'll walk you through the process of creating a simple RESTful web service. As we already had our data access and service layer set up, we'll create a controller to handle incoming HTTP requests. Let's create person controller. We'll use the REST controller annotation to define our controller class, and map our request handling methods to specific URLs. In our controller class, we'll define methods to handle the different types of HTTP requests that our API will support. For example, we might have methods for handling GET requests to retrieve data, POST requests to create new data. Each of these methods will be mapped to a specific URL using annotations like a GET mapping at POST mapping. We can also use path variables and request parameters to pass data to our controller methods. Inside our controller methods, we'll use the service that we created earlier to interact with the repository. We can use methods like save, find all to perform CRUD operations on our data. Once we've retrieved or updated the data, we'll return it as a response to the HTTP request. Spring Boot will automatically convert our data into JSON format and send it back to the client. Finally, we'll test our API to make sure everything is working as expected. Postman is a popular API testing tool. It allows us to send HTTP requests to our API and view the responses. We can use it to test all the different endpoints and methods that our API supports. To test our API with Postman, we'll start by creating a new request. We'll enter the URL of our API endpoint and select the appropriate HTTP method. If our request requires any additional data, such as request parameters or request body, we can enter the information in the appropriate fields in Postman. Once we've set up our request, we can send it to our API by clicking the Send button. Postman will then display the response from our API, including the status code, headers, and response body. We can use this information to verify that our API is working as expected and returning the correct data. If there are any issues or errors, we can use the information in the response to help debug and fix them. If you want to validate that data is correctly inserted into an H2 database, you can navigate to /H2 console in your web browser. Log into the H2 database. From there, you can run SQL queries to check if the data is correctly inserted. And that's it. In just a few simple steps, we've created a fully functional REST API using Spring Boot and Spring Data JPA. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more tutorials on JPA related topics coming soon.